The final hurdler that I want to talk about is a horse called Greenbook, who I'm a big fan of. I think Greenbook is a very smart horse, and I think he's been doing better than you would expect, particularly considering he's only 6 now. What do I mean by he's only 6 now? Well, he's actually won this Heroes Handicap when he was a 5-year-old. To win a big handicap when you're 5, as you can see, he was the only 5-year-old in the race. I think is a very good effort, and that kind of was a big reason why I really liked him last year. You can see he was my nap. He won again as a 6-year-old. He's only going to be 7 if he comes back to it this year, and I think it's the perfect plan with him. You know, they've won plenty of races with him. What have you won? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races. Interestingly, his last 2 were both in this Sandown race, 56 grand each. That's a good, return for a season for a hurdler that isn't going to be winning graded races. Do exactly the same again. Absolutely no reason to change anything up, really. You could potentially run in this Chepstow race again. This race, off his new handicap mark, which is, let me just check, 139. I still think he'll go really close off 139. And why do I think that? Well, his most recent effort was when he was finishing 4th in the Pertemps Final, in against some good horses. Obviously, Salvador Ziggy looked very good over fences already. Good Time Johnny looked, in hindsight, well handicapped. Look at his previous effort in the race as well. Millgreen had run well there before, finishing 3rd the year before. Walking on Air, I know Nicky Anderson's a big fan of his. I think this was a really good effort from Greenbook, and with a clearer run, I think Greenbook could have gone very, very close here to actually winning the race. I think he hit the front and was definitely unfancied at 40s and definitely overlooked for his good efforts. He'd previously finished 5th in an Albert Bartlett, so he does have that Cheltenham form as well. So I think there's, a real obvious plan with Greenbook, but I think if he turns up in these races, he will run a really good race again. This Heroes Handicap, you could do one of 2 things with him. You could go, well, we've won this race twice, we don't need to win this, so let's try and get his mark dropped with the Pertemps Final in mind, because that is the race he could win at the Cheltenham Festival. But look at the prize money, 56,270 to win the Heroes Handicap at Sandown, as it was last year. Exactly the same as winning the Pertemps Final. There's no reason to target that Pertemps Final over the Sandown race. So there's no point turning up to that Sandown race and getting him beat with the idea of dropping his mark. I think he'll be more remembered as a 3-time winner of that Sandown race than as a Pertemps Final winner at some point in his career. Go and win this race for the 3rd consecutive year, which I certainly think he can do off 139, and then come back to Cheltenham for the Pertemps Final and see how you get on. I still think he'll run well in the Pertemps Final, even if he wins at Sandown. Being that he's only 6, turning 7, I still think there's more to come from him. And yeah, that is the race that I want to see him in this Heroes Handicap. Now, it's not until February, so we do have a little bit of time to wait. But, it's an early shout for a race that I think he would go very, very close in again.